Hey, what's up everyone? We are back and we were doing a video on the werewolf. So, haven't really used the werewolf much. This is going to be a learning experience for me as well. We'll go real quickly look at the stats up here. I only have a level 1 werewolf unlocked. So by no means this is a great, judge of the full potential and power of this guy. You can see here 121 normal damage, 3,250 life. On the low side, especially considering he costs 16 morale points to actually summon. He is resistant to fire, which is great, and he's resistant to piercing, very slightly. So his special ability says he jumps over barricades and storms the front lines with ease. He also has what it sounds like a AoE fear effect on units. So we're going to have to go see that in action. So it sounds very similar to the Mummy in that regard, where he actually kind of like fears all the units around him. He, to me, would be a weaker version of the Mummy, because the Mummy summons automatically right next to your hero, and then the AoE fear effect probably won't affect the towers. So we're going to go test it out here. My connection is very laggy and very choppy, so I'm going to try and get this done as quick as possible. And I apologize for any of the lag / delay. So, with having a bad Wi-Fi connection and having possibly something going on with my phone or possibly something going on with the servers, it just doesn't make for the greatest frames per second videos. And I have been trying to get more videos out of Royal Revolt, but again, my internet connection has been iffy, and so a lot of times I record stuff and then it dies like halfway through, and it's like pointless to bring out a recording that's cut off halfway through. So we're in here testing out my base. So you can see the werewolf is pretty darn fast, and there's his howl effects. There, he jumped over the barricade right there. Again, you have to have 16 morale points to actually bring this guy out. He howls. But you see, he's not really doing much damage at this level because he has low life. Yeah, the AoE fear effect, it works on units. We don't know how it will work against towers and such. Hopefully we can give it an example up here. So it doesn't look like it's having any effect on the tower. So overall, in my opinion, the level 1 werewolf is a weaker version of the Mummy. He is fairly quick. So we can summon out a cannon, and we'll summon out a mummy, or a werewolf. And you can see the werewolf kind of just like bolts right past the cannon there. So the werewolf is extremely fast. That's the only perk that I can see out of it. But the low life, especially at level 1, and the high morale cost, definitely makes him not worthwhile to use. He does attack towers as well. And it does not appear that he can attack the Firebolt Tower. So you can see he walks right past it since he is a melee unit. So overall, the perks and bonuses of the werewolf is the speed factor. It's extremely fast, so it's a unit that you can summon and it can get to you right away. But it still takes that time to actually run to you. Whereas the Mummy, comparatively speaking, summons right next to you. He's also cheaper to spawn. He costs 2 morale points less. The AoE Fear seems like he does it fairly frequently, but it only works on units. Whereas the AoE Lightning and Stun from the Mummy actually affects buildings and towers as well. So overall, at this stage of the game, the werewolf just looks like a crappier version of the mummy. So I would not recommend ever using the werewolf at level 1. Even at level 1, the mummy was very, very useful. You know, because the instant spawn right there, he had, you know, a decent resistance. He has a resistance to piercing and a resistance to poison. So the werewolf has a resistance to fire, which is good, and a slight resistance to piercing, versus he's weak to poison and weak to ice. The mummy is weak to fire, but although it says that, the firebolt towers don't appear to do that much damage to the mummy. So I don't know if that toolbar is a little bit wrong there or what, because the mummy stays alive a lot longer than you would expect, getting hit multiple times by the firebolt towers. So comparatively speaking, the werewolf is pretty bad. We'll have to take a look at him once he levels up again, because right now, again, our mummy is level 2, and definitely blows out the werewolf level 1. He's got more life, he's cheaper to cost, and his AoE stun does stun to the towers and the buildings as well. Whereas the werewolf and the AoE fear only works on units and not buildings. So if you have any comments or have some feedback on the werewolf, let me know. I will try and get some more videos out on higher level, you know, werewolves, higher level mummies, higher level gargoyles. We are coming up close to actually unlocking gargoyle level 3, and you saw in that raid there that the gargoyle level 2 in the defense was already pretty darn powerful and did a lot of damage to us while we were raiding. So once we upgrade him to gargoyle level 3, he becomes even more of a threat because he does more damage and he has more life.